Hello and welcome to the next lesson in the series, Learn to Play the Violin with Me, where we learn to play together. Make sure your bow is rosined and your violin is tuned, and we will get right to it. We have 15 minutes. Before we get started in our Essential Elements Violin Book 1, let's do a quick warm-up. We are going to play a D major scale, starting on low D, going all the way up to high D, and we are going to play this rhythm. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? So it's ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. We'll play that for every single note. Let's start with the down bow. That means by the frog. Make sure your violin position is right and your scroll is not facing down. It's facing parallel. Make sure that your bow holds, feels comfortable, and is correct form. Let's try it. D. Remember, the rhythm is 1, 2, 3, and 4 for every note. 1, 2, ready, play. Now E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, all right, if it felt good to you, then we'll go on and look at page 21, number 76, Essential Elements Quiz for Pete's Sake. At the end of last lesson, we had just learned all the notes of this piece, and we talked a lot about first ending versus second ending. So just a quick review. We play this piece 2 times through. The first time, we play the 2 measures under the bracket with a 1 on it. That is the first ending. Then after we get to those two and play those 2 measures of the first ending, you see the repeat sign. You don't see a matching repeat sign. That means you go all the way back to the beginning, play it the second time through. The second time through, you go from measure 14 and you skip over the bracket, the first ending, the bracket, hey Gary, the bracket with a 1 under it, and you go to the bracket with a 2 under it. That is the second ending. So you'll play those 2 measures the second time through. Let's review by playing through it very, very slowly. We'll play the first ending this time, and we'll stop after the first ending. We will see what we remember, see what we have to go over, what little bits maybe we were having trouble with that we need to drill a little bit before putting it all together. Start at the beginning with D. Friendly reminder that if you need to write anything into your music, a fingering or a note name, feel free to do that. I always have a pencil on my stand because I'm a note taker and I like to write things in my music. Here we go, nice and slow. Then we will work our way up to moderato. D. 1, 2, ready, play. Rest. 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 All right, that took us through the first ending. So this time when we play it, there weren't any really tricky spots. Maybe let's play actually the last 4 measures we just played, starting with measure number 12, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13, measure 13. It starts with the B, so it's 2 measures before the first ending. Let's play those last 4 measures we just played, because we're playing on both strings and we're putting different fingers on. So starting on B, which is 1 finger on the A string, B, ready, play, B. Whoop, stop. I did not reach over far enough, so I played on the wrong string. Try that again. B, Ready, play. Sorry, I didn't lift my finger for some reason. Take 3. Ready, play. Rest. Let's try that again. Those last 4 measures, what we just did, starting on B. Ready, play. Rest. And if you could hear, I was adjusting that E. I still am trying to figure out exactly the right spot to hit right away, so I don't have to adjust, slide my finger up and down to get it in tune. Let's try it one more time. This time we are going to skip over the first ending and we're going to play the second ending. So we'll pretend it's the second time playing through. We're going to do it nice and slow. Feel free to pause it at any point if there's a particular spot that's giving you trouble that you want to go over a few times before you try it all together with us. Here we go. D. Second ending this time, but we're starting at the beginning. 1, 2, ready, and... Rest. Rest. Second ending. Rest. Let's try just the second ending a couple times in a row, starting on D. So remember that rhythm is 1 and 2 and 1. Rest. Ready, play. Rest. Try it again. Ready, play. Rest. All right, I think it is time to try the entire piece. Remember, first time through, we play the 2 measures under the first ending. We repeat, go back to the beginning, skip over those 2 measures in the first ending. Second time through, play the second ending. We'll try it nice and slow, and then we'll add some speed to it, as long as all goes well. Here we go. 1 and 2, and ready, play. Rest. Rest. First ending. Beginning. Rest. Rest. Your second ending. Rest. How'd it go? All right, let's add a little bit of speed to it. Pause now if you need to work on anything. And let's try it at moderato and see how it goes. Here we go. All right, so moderato is not too quick. I mean, we're not going to go crazy here. Here we go. 1, 2. How about this? 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's try that. 1, 2, 1, 2. Ready, play. 2. Beginning. We did it. Great. Let's turn the page. Now we're looking at page number 22. At the very top, it introduces the half note and half rest. So a half note looks like a quarter note. Quarter note is worth 1 beat, it's colored in. A half note is worth 2 beats, and it is not colored in. A half rest, on here on the staff, it looks like a rectangle, but if it's written not on the staff, it actually has a line underneath, so it looks like a top hat. So the way I always teach is that hat, half, hat, half. It looks like a top hat, and that's a half rest. It's worth 2 beats of silence. Now when we play, because the string, the only way the string makes sound is if we are actively bowing. It doesn't like ring if we would stop playing. The sound pretty much stops immediately. What we're going to have to start working on is making sure that we are bowing the entire 2 beats. So not just playing and then waiting for the entirety of those 2 beats, but actually bowing through all the beats, 1 and 2 and like that. We're going to start using more of the bow. Let's look at number 77, rhythm rap. We are going to clap it and we count it too. All right, here we go. Ready? So obviously when we're clapping, it doesn't ring and we can't really do anything. So we are just going to, what I'm going to do for a half note is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I kind of move my hands forward so that it's still showing motion and that I am kind of I am acting out that the note keeps. We have to actively be doing something during those 2 beats and not just kind of clapping and then being still. Let's try to sight read, counting and clapping 77. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that half rest there is at the end. It's 2 beats of silence. Let's try it again. A little faster. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. All right. Let's look at 78. It is the same rhythm that we just practiced. If you look at the end, it's 4 beats, 4 measures long. If you look at the end, there's a repeat sign. No new notes, except we're adding a new rhythm with the half note. So underneath it says slow bow. You don't want to use so much bow so fast that you run out of bow, because then you kind of have nowhere to go. So you want to kind of try to time it so that you are using a lot of the bow, but you are leaving enough room so that you can sound for all 2 of those beats. So we have D's, E's, and F sharps. We're staying on that D string. Let's try to sight read it. Remember, there's a repeat sign, starting with a down bow. And if you look in measure 4, at that half rest, there is a bow lift, that apostrophe looking thing. Remember, it goes from a down bow, we bow lift to replace it back down at the frog so we can do a down bow for the first note. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. D, D, E, half note, half note, half note, bow lift. Half note, half note, half note, rest, rest. All right, let's try that again. Pause it if there are any parts that you need to go over before we try it all together. Let's try it a little bit faster. Remember to keep that bow moving through both beats of each half note. 1, 2, ready, and... rest, rest. Rest, rest. All right, good timing, very good. Oop. All right, so let me show you a really quick example of what not to do. This is not a half note. Ready? Did you notice that I played the notes at the right time, but I did not hold those half notes for 2 beats? So that's what I mean when I say that you want to keep the bow moving and sound the note for both beats. You know what I mean. All right, next lesson we will continue on with our half notes. I will see you soon.